Hey guys, this is Jacques from Makulu Linux and welcome to another video. So I'm very excited to show you what we've been working on. We've been quiet for a while now, and the reason is this portal. This has taken in insane amount of my time. Like literally the last 2 months, this has been my focus, day in and day out. I've not had much sleep. And in fact, it's actually been about 2 years in the making. I've been making various tools, and they've all basically come together to produce this at the end of the day. The last 2 months have been incredibly hard work, but it has been about 2 years that I've been sort of on off working on this. Okay, so with that being said, what is this? This is our new Makulu AI agent portal. Now, before I actually show this to you and show what it does, I want to explain the term AI agent because I fear not many people may know what it means or what it is, right? What is an AI versus an AI agent? And why do people use terms like AI agents? What are they? Okay, an AI agent is a single copy of the AI. So there we go. If you look here, there's an AI agent. It's just your regular AI. So when you're talking to ChatGTP or Gemini, you just have one AI, right? And that is this agent here. So we call an agent a single copy of the AI. So this is an agent. So you give it a task. You give, sorry, let me do that better. You give it a task to the AI. The AI gives you a response. Whether it's a question, tell me about Tom Cruise, and then it will tell you about Tom Cruise. Tell me about Batman. Tell me about his superpowers. Whatever. That's conversational, but you're just dealing with one agent, right? Whether you give it a task, oh, write me the code for a calculator or whatever, it will write you the code for the calculator. But that's just one AI. That's one agent. So that's what an AI is. An AI is a one single agent, right? Then you get what they call AI agents or agentic or multi-agent. Okay, and multi-agent is you give it a task to one agent. We call this agent a supervised agent. This agent creates copies of other AI. So it creates multiple copies, right? And those copies can also create copies. And so what happens is you have now what they call worker agents, a supervisor agent, and you have worker agents. And then at the end, you get a response. Now, why does this matter? Well, it matters because, let me just take all of that out. Over here, you've just got one agent that gives you an output, right? But you might ask it of something vague. Like you could say to it, oh, can you please write me detailed article, 10,000 words or 5,000 words on, the conditions that the first colony that will colonize Mars, the conditions that they might meet, and what the standard day to day living might be. You might ask it something sort of not exactly complex, but you might ask it something like that. The AI agent will then give some details based on the knowledge that it has. Whereas if you multitask, the supervisor agent will look at your prompt. Oh, he needs to know about Mars. He needs to know about living on Mars and the people that first go there, what they might encounter. So it will create one agent and it will say to this agent, you go research the conditions on Mars. Create another agent. It will say, you go research writing styles. You, and another agent, you go research deep space travel and the effects of humans. Then this one, it's searching conditions of Mars, but it needs more information. So it needs to know basically maybe, I don't know, SpaceX and what SpaceX is doing to sort of mimic the conditions of Mars on Earth to prepare humans. So it will create a sub agent to research that, and so it goes on. These agents all use themselves and make copies of new agents, and each one has a different aspect to research. And then once all of these agents are done, they usually report back to the main agent. This diagram's not exactly right. It reports back to the main agent. The main agent takes all of this information and then creates a new response. And this response is now much better because it's actually coming from a multi-agent um, output where these guys have worked to research this different aspects and give you a much, much better response. So this response will be simple. This response will be a lot more clearer, more detailed, and more complex. And so that's the difference. So while a single agent is great for just simple tasks like chatting and so forth, a multi agent is much better at things like writing content and coding and things like that. So that's the difference between a single agent, which is normal AI, just your normal regular AI, and multi agent, where the AI makes copies of itself. Okay, so I just wanted to explain to the people that are unsure about what a multi agent is, what that is. It's basically if you're in a company, your boss gives you a task, you do the task, and there's the task at the end. Whereas in a big corporation with many people, you have more people that you can utilize to make the task better, and then you give a much better response at the end, or the final goal is better. Okay, so with that being said, let's get back to our app, and I'm going to make this full screen because now that you understand what AI agents are, we're actually just going to take a look here, and I just want to explain here that we currently have 35 models and 45 AI agents. Now it's not actually 45 agents. I think it's actually 53 at this point. It was 45 the last time I updated. But we are, I think, at 53 now. I actually need to update that at some point. It doesn't really matter. Well, let's say 45 because they are the main AI agents. The new ones are kind of sub agents. So we'll say 45. So we've got 35 AI models and 45 AI agents. So if we go here and we take a look here, these are all the models. And if you go here to agents, there's a whole bunch of agents listed here. These are all the agents that you get. Okay. Now, why why does our models differ to other models? And this is something that I really want to explain here. Okay, hold on. Let me just take that away. Okay. Now, where regular AI agents, like if you go, work with Openai or Gemini or DeepSeek or it doesn't matter who, if you go into an app and you use their agent portals or whatever, you'll get DeepSeek splitting itself, making agents. DeepSeek making agents of DeepSeek. OpenAI making agents with OpenAI. Gemini making agents with Gemini. Okay, and that's all nice and good, and it does its job and it works. But you are dealing with one model making copies of itself. So if there's a flaw in the model, the flaw gets copied into the copies. Okay, and for that reason, I've included many different models here. We've got GPT models, Gemini models, DeepSeek models. Electra's got a couple of models that she uses. We've got the Kimi models, Llama models, Mistral models. We've got the Phi, which is Microsoft models, Quencoder models, Sonoma models. We've got various models here. And so these models are all being called on at different times. So they all have their roles to play. But I found that it is much better to use multiple models than one single model making copies of itself. That way you kind of get less of those issues, if that makes any sense. So that's the reason that we use so many different models and not just one model and making many copies, is we try to eliminate flaws from being copied. And also, each of these models have their own unique take on something. So you kind of always tend to get the best of all the worlds at the end of the day. Okay, so that being said, we've got 35 models and 45 agents. By the way, the agents are always being updated. There's always more. Sometimes we add, sometimes we remove. And so I'm just going to leave that at 45 because I know I'll probably remove a couple and add more and remove and so forth. But each of these agents have a specific goal or specific blueprint, right? So you get the architect that designs high-level project structure. You got the planner that creates a detailed file-by-file plan, and then the project CTO is the master orchestrator that follow-ups requests, analyzing existing code to plan for modifications and evolutions. You got the content planner, the research planner, the travel planner, the prompt analyzer. Generation, you've got the coder, the writer, the DB agent, the API agent, the theme agent, the report writer, and so forth, so forth. Image generator, project builder. Below that, you've got the quality engineer, the DevOps, the debugging, aesthetics and layout agents, and that's not one, that's multiple agents, but it's just put them together. Quality assurance agent, a security analyst, humanizer, blah, 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 blah. Specialist agents, these are infrastructure agents, summarizing agents, image generation team, and that's multiple agents over here. I think this image generation has the stylist, the focus, the lighting, the detail, the finalizer, and I think there's a humanizer in there too. There's a couple here. It's like 5 or 6 models just in that one alone. 5 or 6 agents. Input agents. We've even got a Makulu Linux agent specifically to deal with anything related to the distro. Application explainer. That this is an agent that actually is for this app. If you have questions about this app, an agent deals with that. So there's so many different agents here. Okay, so with that being said, we also have the ability to add your own keys. You can add your own. For example, if you have OpenAI an account and you prefer using OpenAI, you can put in your OpenAI key, choose your models, and you can use just ChatGPT. The same with Gemini. If you have a Gemini account and you prefer using Gemini because you're used to Gemini, whatever, you can put in your Gemini API and then just select your Gemini model and just use Gemini. Okay. So, and if yours fails or if you run out of tokens, it will fall back onto our models. All our models are free models for you to use. Okay. Wow, that was a mouthful. I'm sorry it's taken this long, but there's a lot to explain here, and this is not going to be a short video. Okay, so now you kind of have an idea of what agents are, and you have an idea here that we have many agents in here and many models in here. If you actually go here to the settings, there's a little settings button at the top corner of here, and you click on that, you can see this is where you can put in your keys if you have any. If you don't, these are the models that you can use. These are the ones that are currently listed. Now, there's only a couple listed here, even though there are 35 models. Many of these models sometimes come from the same server. Like we'll have pollinations as 8 models. So we just ping pollinations. We don't have to ping each model, understand? And so these are 35 models, but from different servers, okay? So it's just the pings you see from each of the servers, and some of them have multiple models, even though we don't always list it, like Mistral has 4 models, but I've only listed 1 here. This is a different Mistral server, and this one I think has 3 models. Anyway, suffice to say, why is Electra taking so long? She must be very busy at the moment. There's probably a lot of people on there. Okay, so as you can see, everything's online and we've got the latency there. Now, why is the latency important? Well, when the AI decides, because remember, because we're using agentic AI, it will always analyze your prompt. If you give a prompt to the AI, it will analyze your prompt and say, oh, this is a simple thing. I can answer this. Let me answer it. Oh, no, this is a complex prompt. I need different agents for this. I need a coding agent. I need a writer agent. I need a quality checking agent. Or I need a fact checker agent. We have those as well. So it will decide if agents are needed and what. Oh, there we go. It's obviously very busy. What agents are needed, right? So it decides. So let's say that it decides that you need a coding agent. Right, so now it goes through the list of models available, and it sees, okay, is it simple code? Is it complex code? What kind of model do we need for this? And it will see, oh, we've got 8 models here that are capable of writing this code. These 8 models are pretty much on par with each other. They can all do this task. Then it will look at which model is the fastest. Oh, sorry, lots of notifications. Which model of these 8 is the fastest right now? This is where the latency comes into play. And then it will choose the model. Okay, so you can come here to settings and you can see which are online if you want. You can add your own keys if you want as well. But that's what the settings and the API status is about. Online model check and also latency check. It is that time of the day. It's peak hours now, so things tend to maybe be slow on some of the servers. Lots of people on. Okay, with that being said, let's actually get to our app. I know this is long. I'm sorry about that. I have to explain these things. Now, let's actually start talking about the actual app now. Okay, so the app. When you open up the app, this is the screen that you'll see. At the top here, you've got your header. This is your little ribbon header on top here. Over here, in the bottom, in the top left corner, you've got your sessions. This is to start a new session. So if you click this button, it'll wipe anything on the screen and start a new session. It's like a reload button. Next to that, settings. And by the way, I figured out why Electro was so slow. It's because I had my VPN on. I couldn't figure it out. You can see the times are much quicker now with the VPN turned off. Still peak hours though. This is still fairly slow. Usually Electro's faster than that. But it's because my VPN was turned on. Okay. Anyway, so you got your session button, settings, history button. If you click on the history, you can load previous tasks that you were working on, previous projects, so you can load those. Next to that, you've got the to name a project. If you want to give it a name, don't have to. It auto names itself the moment a project starts. You got a developer mode, content mode, chat mode, image mode, and we'll go through those. You got a share button, a zip button, and I'll explain those. Next to that, you got toggle buttons for panes, your different panes, like your, when you've got like we'll cover those as well. And then you got your tutorial guide, which is very important. You should read this. And then next to that, you've got your bug report. Very, very important for if you want to give feedback or bug reports. Very simple. Whatever issue you have, copy, paste, type it here, put in your email, submit. It's that easy. Request. If you have a request, type it, email, submit. It's very easy. Next to that, you've got your about, which also gives a join our Discord, check out our YouTube, and some information. Okay, at the bottom here, well, these will change because we're currently in chat mode, so you see the chat GUI, but this changes depending on the mode. And then in the bottom corner here, you've got the public chat. Basically, it's just a little widget that connects to our chat room, so you can chat to other users that are online. Okay, so this is pretty handy. You can chat to any of these people. They might show green, but it doesn't mean they're always there because the D means Discord. These are people that are in our Discord channel, and then Electra's in here, and then the guests are just people that are connecting via widgets. Okay, so with that being said, let's actually start looking at the different modes here. So we're currently in chat mode. We've got an image mode over there. As you can see, the GUI changed: image mode, chat mode, content mode, and then we have developer, which is advanced coder, and the node builder. But let's go to chat mode. Okay, chat mode, at the bottom here, you've got your input box where you can type something and then the send button. Next to it, you've got a deep reasoning. If you toggle deep reasoning, it toggles AI agent mode. If reasoning is off, then usually you'll just get a reply from a single agent. So this toggles multiple agents or single agents. You can add a text file on here, or you can add an image as well. So you can attach an image and then talk to the AI about the image or talk to it about the text. You also get some suggestions here for prompts. So you can say, what can you do, and then click that, and the AI will then give you a response. You'll also see here which model it's using. Right now, it's using one of the Pollinations models, right? And Pollinations has a couple of models, so it will look which one's the fastest, which one is required, what it can do, and it will choose one. But there we go. This is just from a single agent, right? If we go and we reset this, so I'm going to ask it the same thing, it's the same question, but with deep research enabled. And I don't know if you saw that there, but it jumped between different models there. And so with deep reasoning, it actually does use different models. And it will not only create a response, but it will also fact check see there, it does a final fact check, and it does a synthesis as well. So it is using multiple models with the thinking, even if it's not using a specialist agent. Specialist agent means like a coder or a writer, or it's a special. There are a couple agents that are considered specialists, the others are not. And so look at that. Look at the difference. This is now a response you get uh, from AI deep thinking, deep reasoning mode versus the other one, which is basically just one sentence. It tells you I can explain, I can write, I can translate, code, data analysis, da 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 da. Also notice that we have a canvas here. Sometimes if it's making like a list or something, it will load it into canvas. You can drag the panes, so I can resize this any way I want. So Canvas is used when it's basically doing some kind of presentation, or it puts something into like a formal format or whatever. Canvas is nice because it shows you the number of lines used, and it shows you the number of characters used, and it's nice, and it's got a copy button here. So while you can't select the text, in fact in future builds I might change that. You can't, because this is the AI playground, not your playground. Canvas belongs to the AI, right? This is where AI makes changes. You can copy it. There we go. I've just copied all of that. If you do close the canvas, it still keeps whatever's in the canvas. So you can click show canvas again. So you just want to minimize it, you can. It's basically a minimize button. But if you unload it, if you click the bin, it's gone. So that canvas is gone. So Canvas is nice. Canvas can also be used to load documents. Like let's say I go here and I load the actions file here. Go there, click and I load a file. If I load a file, it will load into Canvas automatically, and it will put the file name as well at the top. And now I can ask the agent, what is this in Canvas? And it will literally use a because there is a Canvas agent. As you can see, it actually dispatches a Canvas agent to inspect, and then it tells you what it is. It actually tells there possibly Zojo, programming language Zojo, and this is a Zojo file, by the way. Blah 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 blah. HTML viewer. Da, 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 da. So that's pretty cool. If you load an image, the same thing. If we load an image, then the image will also not that image. Let's go load another image here. There we go. If we load an image, we can also ask about the image. Describe this image. So I'm asking it to describe the image. Now, it depends on the explanation. If the explanation is fairly small, it will load it into the chat. If the explanation is bigger and needs more space to breathe and it's a formal setting, it will load it into Canvas. So let's see what it does. The AI will decide on that. But sometimes the description, okay, so this is just a simple one. Sometimes the description, if it's put into a formal setting, it will also load it into Canvas. And you can just unload it or copy it. But you can attach images and then ask questions about the images. And that's nice because sometimes if you have like an issue, you just screenshot your page, you can just show it to the AI. Very nice. And of course, you can add text as well. Most conversations, just regular conversations, you can just untick and talk. But if you want deep reasoning, which is nice, but it does take longer, you get better results. Now, also notice that the suggestions here are based on the conversation. Your first suggestions, the AI just comes up with some generic ones, but the moment you start talking, the AI actually looks at the conversation and then tries to think like what question would the user ask next, and then gives you a couple of options. So yeah, how was the stained glass effect achieved? Can you describe the cave in more detail? What inspired this artwork? So it gives you a couple of suggested prompts so that you don't have to type if you don't want to. You've got a couple that you can use. So sometimes you can keep the conversation going by just clicking a couple of suggestions. So that's pretty cool. So that's basically chat mode, right? Chat mode's quite nice. You've got a canvas that you can use. You can chat, add images, add text. And you could use it even for simple tasks like coding and stuff like that. But I wouldn't use it for coding more complex stuff. I would use developer for that. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, let's move on to something like image. I'm just going to reset this. The reason I want to reset it is if you actually look here, all the agent stuff that's been going in the background, this doesn't have an agent portal, but the other places that do, you can see here, it actually shows you the details. So let's just clear it so everything's nice and clean. Okay, let's take a look at image. So we just had a look at chat, right? So chat is nice. Let's take a look at image here. So if I click on image now, it takes me to the image mode. Image mode is actually fairly simple. You choose your aspect ratio, and we've got quite a lot here. And then you choose type something for a prompt, or you click surprise me. If you click surprise me, the AI will come up with its own prompt. It will make a random prompt. If you type something like, let's say, cute, fluffy cat, space suit, floating in space. Okay, so there I said a cute, fluffy cat, spacesuit floating in space. Those are my keywords. Now, if I click generate, it will take those keywords and it will create a prompt. But it's not just like your normal AI created prompt. It actually uses AI agents to create the prompt. And I don't know if you remember here, we went to, where was it? Let me see, where was it? Yeah, image generation team. It's got a stylist, a lighting agent, a focus agent, a detail agent, a finalizer agent. There's also some other agents that are not listed here. But basically what it does is it will take those words and it will look at those words and say, well, how can we make a cat look cute in a spacesuit? So let's take a look here. So I'm going to hit that. I'm going to hit generate. Let's see the AI. So we see the enhancing, adding lighting, adding camera details, adding fine details, and corrections. So now that's actually happening in the background right now. That hasn't happened yet. It's busy going. Those agents are now collectively talking to each other, trying to come up with this really, really nice prompt to use for your generation, right? And we chose square 1024 by 1024. So let's see. This could take a few seconds to 30 seconds to a minute. I think it should be coming up soon. Okay, there we go. It's creating a final prompt now. So there, these agents work together. Sometimes they're quick. Sometimes it does take a minute. There's a lot being done there. I just wanted to also say that there's also the camera details. The camera details decides what lens to use, what camera to use. Look at this. Wrote this long prompt. This is why it took so long. Look at that. Look at that. And it actually tells you what lens to use. Wide angle shot, 24 millimeter lens at f2.8, one quarter. Is that 1/125th second? ISO 200, shallow depth of field. Blah 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 blah. You see, we said a cute kitty cat, right? Spacesuit floating in space. And look what it came up with. Look at that. Look at that. Just look at the quality. Now that's a cute kitty cat, huh? I actually think this is the nicest one, maybe. No, this one. Wow, that looks really, really cool. Really, really cool. So that's what happens when you generate images here. You don't just get a typical prompt, you get that. Just look at that. Wow. Look at that prompt that it created. All of these agents just working collectively together to produce these cute. Since I said cute, it's obviously gone with cartoonish kind of Disney style cute. Really, really awesome. Now, when you click on an image, you can zoom the image. You have options. You can either send the image to canvas or you can create a video from the image. So if we click send to canvas, click here, it'll actually load that image into your chat. See, we're back in chat mode now. Loads it into your canvas and attaches it here so you can talk about it. Tell me about this image. And now the AI will describe the image, blah, 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 blah. So now you can actually talk to the AI about the image that you just generated, should you wish to. So it says the description generated, and now you can talk to the image, to the AI about the image. You can also unload the image if you wanted to, or minimize it and then go back there again. And as you can see here, let's unload this image. As you can see there, look, it gives you like a 3D render. A white kitten floats in gravity, da 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 da. And it says transparent bubble helmet reveals a kitten's large blue eyes, long lashes, rosy cheeks, and a tiny pink nose. Look at this. Look at the detail here. Wow, key elements. Overall mood, joyful, da 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 da. Look at that. It's a really good explanation, by the way. It is so great. Okay, so let's go back to image now. If you want, you can also generate a video. I don't know if I should. I think this is a very busy time of the night. Anyway, you could click, I think I need to enable my VPN for this. So yeah, you can also, let's just reload here quickly. Let's just reload go back to images. You can also edit images, right? So you can take an image. Let's go to this one here, for example. Let's add an image. So I've attached an image here. There we go. Image uploaded. And there we go. Type what you want to change. For example, you can say water background, whatever you want to change. Then click edit image and the edited image will be displayed there. Image editing is a little slower than generation, so do give it time to actually edit the image. But we do support both generating images, editing images, and then image to video. Okay, so that's image mode. And remember that images can be sent to your canvas directly from image into your chat. So that's very handy sometimes. So we've covered chat and we've covered images. Okay, now I actually want to get onto content. And then after content, we get into the big boys, the developer. Okay, so let's enter content mode. Now, I guess I would call these two modes advanced, the more advanced of the four. You've got the chat, image, content, and developer. Content mode is all about writing, whether you're writing blog posts, articles, PowerPoint slides, or press releases, or cover letters, resumes, resignation letters. It's all here. We have such a wide variety of content types that you can use here. I suppose one of the most advanced or the more complex of all of these is probably the novel. I mean, a lot of these are sort of single page or single articles where the novel, is the size of books, 10 chapters, 20 chapters, 30 chapters kind of thing. So I'm going to choose a novel because I really want to show off what content writing can do, or what content writing in this portal can do. So I'm going to choose novel. And of course, let's choose, you can choose a genre. I'll choose science fiction. How many chapters? Let's make it 10 chapters, just fine. Word count. Now, the word count doesn't mean it's going to stick to that. It's just kind of like a guideline of where you would like it to be. Um, so I'll leave that there. Do we want to add any characters? You can. You can add a character with a name and a gender and an age, and then give it a backstory. And you can add a second character and a third character if you wanted to. But I'm going to leave that up to the AI. You can add plot twists if you want. Describe your plot twists if you want. But I'm going to leave that as well. And I'm just going to say um, day-to-day life of the first humans to colonize Mars and the struggles they endure along the way. Okay, so there we go. So the book's going to be about, or the novel's going to be about the day-to-day life of the first humans to colonize Mars and the struggles they endure along the way. So that's quite an interesting topic, right? And we're going to choose science fiction because it's sci-fi, 10 chapters, 1,500 words. Now I know this is kind of like a medium novel. Like all the great novels are usually 20, 27 chapters, but I don't want to sit here forever making this video. So I'm going to hit generate now, and you're going to notice here that it's going to give a project a name. That's the first thing it does. It's accepted our task. So it's going to give a name. Once it gives the name, there we go, Mars Colony Diaries. Oh, interesting name, Mars Colony Diaries. So now it's starting the novel generation. It's planning the novel structure. So now to plan out the story over 10 chapters, and it plans the story arc, character arc, and then it divides it up into the chapters. Okay, so we know how it starts, we know how we want it to end, and now we have to make the story in between. We have to add some plot twist to this, to that. This happens, that happens, and yeah, so it plans the story over 10 chapters. That's a fridge coming on there. Okay, so plans it over 10 chapters. You can see it's named all of the chapters here. You can see and this is the project map, right? You can also switch to editor mode where you can literally see um, we can resize these as well. All these panes are resizable, so we can do this. So now you can see as it writes the chapters, you can literally see what happens here. The agent logs gives you like a breakdown of exactly step by step of what happens. So you can see planning the novel planned with 10 chapters. Begin first chapter. That says writing the arrival of the red world, or arrival on the red world. Sorry, I'm here in the dark. It says arrival on the red world. And it's complete. It's verifying the plot points, verifying characters and so forth. So it's literally now the second and the third and the fourth chapters. None of these are done yet. It's still busy with the first chapter, but you can see here that it's basically written the story. Now it's going through the verification, and it verifies everything. It verifies the plot. It verifies the characters, and then it also verifies the word count. Although it's instructed not to always stick to the word count. It really just depends. The AI will decide. Some chapters will be smaller. Some chapters will be larger. It will sort of maybe keep an eye on that word character and make sure that in general you get about 1,500 over 10 chapters, but some chapters may have more, some less. So don't criticize that too much. The AI has a story that it needs to get to. It needs to get to this, and sometimes it just can't do it in less words. Also, you see there it failed. It says the word verification failed. The chapter is too long. It exceeds 1,950 upper limit. So now it's going to rewrite the second attempt. It's going to try and bring down the word count. So it repairs itself, basically. So it goes through the verification, yes, 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 failed. Now it will rewrite it, this chapter. Now, when you think, okay, it's going to rewrite it, does that mean the story changes? No, it doesn't. It's got a story arc. Some of the variables might change to fit within the word count, but the main story still stays the same. The AI plots out the story in such a way that it knows how it wants to get to a point. It knows the start of the story, how it starts, and then it knows how chapter one ends, and it has like a main something or whatever that happens in chapter one, right? So you've got your character, how where the character is when it starts, where the character is when it ends, and how the character gets there and what happens in between, and then everything else is background noise that just fills in the story, right? So, for example, if I don't know if the I guess if the character's outside somewhere, you've got this beautiful scene, blah blah blah, then the building in the background is just background noise. The setting is basically just mainly important for if it's beautiful, but it could be anywhere, and so all of those details can be changed as long as the story keeps with where it's supposed to be. Now it's rewritten. It's come down 200 words. Um, I think it's accepted that. I think it's accepted the word verification the second time around. It's reduced it by 200 words. Still significantly higher but then it's reduced it again. Oh, it's rewritten it. Um, so it's come down about 400 words now, almost 400 words less. So it does attempt to bring down the word count. And it does a final check, by the way, right at the end after it's done all 10 chapters. It comes back and does a final check. So it may still rewrite this chapter. You see there, each chapter can be rewritten. I can't click it now because the thing is in process. But I myself can regenerate chapters afterwards. Like once the whole thing's done, I can go and I can regenerate this chapter. And I think once it's all done, it will go because it has like a quality inspection agent, and then it has a final drafting inspecting agent. There's many agents here. I think in total there are about 15 or 16 agents here, and some of them will come and sort of check everything. They'll check the consistency of the plot and the character development over 10 chapters. So once the story is done, I mean, we haven't even written chapter 2 yet. It's still busy. There we go. Here comes chapter 2. So once all of this is done, that those final checks, they'll come and they'll check each and every chapter. They'll make sure that the story flows, and that whatever's supposed to happen, because it can see what was planned, and so it sort of makes sure that all of those goals are met throughout all of the chapters. By the way, did you see there's a humanizer as well? This humanizing agent is basically responsible for looking for anything that's written by AI, because AI has patterns. The way that something's written with AI is usually there are patterns involved. And so it goes through and looks for those patterns and then removes them or rewrites a phrase, not to change the phrase, but to make it sound more human. And so the humanizing agent will go through and everything to make it just seem a lot more humanizing, human-like. And so as you go through the story, blah blah blah. Wow, this is gonna take long. Maybe I should just speed this up because wow, 10 chapters. We're gonna sit here a long time. I should have chosen 2 chapters. Yeah, I think let's do that. Oh, by the way, look here. Do you guys notice here at the bottom? See, it says using currently pollinations, but this does change sometimes. Pollinations obviously today is the fastest model, so they're speedy. This service right now are obviously speedy because it will by default go to the fastest model, because writing is something that most models can do these days, right? Pollinations, they offer GPT-5, Gemini, they've got Mistral models, they've got Gwen models. I mean, they've got quite a lot of variety of models. I think we've got 8 of their models linked, and each one has different function. So quite a few of their models are very capable of writing this type of content. So yeah, they're obviously very fast at the moment. So the AI has jumped to one of those models. Okay, let me speed this up. We'll come back when this is done. Okay, guys, so our novel is kind of finally finished here. Now let's quickly just run through everything that's happened here because this was actually quite very long. Wow. Like, I mean, there was a lot done here. Not long as in took long, it just there was a lot done here. 10 chapters. I mean, that's quite large. Many of them over 3,000 words. So remember, this is a guide, so it won't always be like that. Sometimes it'll be 2,000 words, sometimes it'll be 3,000 words, sometimes it'll be 1,000 words. I think it just the AI will make the plot, and then whatever fits in there fits in there. If we had made this 27 chapters, it might have been 1,000 words a chapter, 2,000 words a chapter. Anyway, I can fine tune this more, but I kind of like it like this. I like it that the AI kind of runs wild. Anyway, so I just want to read this first part over here. I just want to just sort of just show you how well the AI actually writes. It says here, just the first paragraph of chapter one. It says, Mars wore dawn like a coin with a rough edge, bright on one side, a thin wine dark seam along the other. The shuttle bay breathed a soft sigh as the airlock hissed open, and Lena Park stepped into the first breath of another world. Her visor caught a thin slice of sunrise across the horizon, where the red of the regolith met the copper sky in a brittle, beautiful edge. Behind her, blah, 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 the figures of the other people, and Iris and AI perched in the ship's brain, and now a steady, patient presence in their helmets and minds. So that's the AI that's obviously talking to them in their helmets and minds. Horizon awaited with a polite silence, a hull that had learned to listen as carefully as it spoke. Okay. So obviously the hull that learned to listen as carefully as it spoke is probably a reference to the AI. Look how well that's written, by the way. So well written. Anyway, so this goes on for 10 chapters. And then once it's finished, if you actually look here, there's one chapter there, went through, no problems, no problems. These are minor problems. These are just sort of where it tells you the word count is higher than it's supposed to be. And then word count again, word count verification. Those are considered minor. But yeah, chapter 7, it rewrote a couple of times. Attempt 2, and then attempt 2 was okay. On attempt 1, it failed. It failed because of the plot. It says your plot verification failed. Key elements from the outline are missing or underdeveloped. Lena's role in the medical readiness and blah, 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 blah. Koff's audacious improvised repair of the outer hull array is absent. Da, 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 da. So you see, the AI already knows what is supposed to be in that chapter. It knows this has got to happen in a chapter, this has got to happen in a chapter, this has got to happen in a chapter. We can fill in the rest with whatever suits the story. But so there, this plot failed, and originally this chapter was like 600 words. It was very underdeveloped, and then it rewrote it. The attempt to, and then verifying plot verification successful, verifying characters successful. So it rewrote it, but the first draft was faulty. So I just wanted to show that it actually repairs itself. If it finds an issue, it will repair it. And then it went down again, gave some word count errors, and then right at the end, it completed successfully. And then it says novel generation finished with one failure, and that failure. And you can regenerate. Like I can regenerate that chapter. I don't want to because I like the story the way it is. And then right here at the end, chapter 10, if we look here, it says a year. It sounded almost casual when Lena whispered it aloud, as if the number could fold into a calendar, like a seed slipping into soil. But the year had tasted of rockets and frost, of crowded mess tables, and quiet geometry of ice and glass. Horizon had stopped being a starting line and had become a weathered home that learned your name back, even when you forgot it for a heartbeat. Lena stood by the sleeping bench in the central corridor, where the artificial morning light bled through the porthole to paint the room with a pale iron blue. The sky outside wore the patience of something very old and very hard. Wow, man, this is deep stuff. This is very good. This is the last chapter, by the way. So what I'm going to do here is, okay, so because there was an error here, you can regenerate the chapter and then we'll regenerate, and then usually if it's successful with no errors, it gives you a send to canvas option. And if you click the send to canvas, it then takes to chat, it loads it into canvas. But because there was an error, we don't get that option unless I regenerate, and I don't want to regenerate, and there's a reason for that. I want to show you guys two other options we have here: download and share. Now, if you download a story that's generated, whether it's an article, a novel, doesn't matter. If you download one, let's see. Yeah, okay, there we go. See there, chapter 7 gave that error. Now, if you download it, you have the option to download in Markdown, which is the current format, plain text, or PDF. If you click PDF and you click download, it will actually convert the story into a PDF story. It says, see there, it's processing. So what it's doing now is taking all 10 chapters and making one long PDF book, basically. It's compiling it into a PDF book. Once it's finished, it will auto put it in your downloads folder. So it will auto save in your downloads folder. So once it's done, this thing will just close, and then you know it's in your downloads folder. You can go look in your downloads folder, you will see it there. So it's doing 10 chapters now. Um, just give it a minute. Okay, there we go. It's just closed. So that's been saved now on my drive. So now I've got a local PDF. This has all been saved into PDF. Now, of course, if you have many chapters, it could take a few minutes. You just got to wait. Just be patient. It's a local converter. Anyway, so it's saved it as PDF. Now, you also have the option to share. Now, what share does is, I want to show you this. So if I click on share here, let's click on share. It syncs the files to the server, and it gives you a sharing code there, like a phrase, silent lake 70. It's always dashes, silent dash lake 70. At the bottom here, it also says project shared successfully, share ID silent lake 70. And you can sync it. So if you make changes now, you can sync it up to the server. Now, what this sharing option does is, if anybody else is running Agent Portal, Makulu Agent Portal, doesn't matter where in the world they are, your boss, your friend, whatever, somebody else on chat, whatever, the person you're working with, let's say you have a publisher and you're actually writing your novels or your stories inside chat, and you want them to have access on it to it, they can just open Portal. You give them this ID. So you go to history here. There's the local stuff that I saved, but you can also load it from server. Because I shared it, it syncs to the server. I just type in that little ID here and I click load, and it will literally import this whole project. This is if I'm another guy now and I have this ID. It will import this whole project into my web portal as it is here, even with these messengers, even with the agent logs, everything as is, complete into whoever has this ID. It just pulls it right into their portal. And this is great because multiple people can work on articles or books or make edits and then sync it. And so you can have 5 people working on it, making changes and syncing to the server together. It's like working on a project together on GitHub. That's the idea with this. And I'm going to expand on this feature, by the way. I mean, it's still in early stages, so I'll keep expanding on that. Um, but the feature is there for people to collaborate on projects, and it doesn't only apply to content, it also applies to developer, and we'll get to that in a few minutes. But I just wanted to show here that you can really generate some crazy good content. And if I go here to history, I can even load some of my other stuff that I've written here, content mode. And let's see, here's another book that I was doing, Girl in the Dark Forest. If I click on that, load that. This was 2 chapters only. So there we go. There's 2 chapters. And here you can see there's a send to canvas because this one generated without any errors at all. And if I go send to canvas, it sends it back to chat into canvas, and you see it loads the file name, then it loads the file. And then further down, when it gets to the second chapter, it splits it, file name again, and then continues. So it's really nicely laid out. And you can see 191 lines, and it's 49,593 characters. So now I can talk to the AI about the story, right? Because I just sent to Canvas. Okay, let's refresh here. So just to quickly summarize and unload this, let's summarize this here quickly. So you've got PowerPoints, blog posts, articles, novels, tutorial. You've got so many here that you can do. There's like everything under the sun. And it's not like asking a normal AI to write a story. It doesn't work like this. These are agents working together. You see the depth of that text. the way it writes, the way it does things. I mean, it just goes to next level. So if you write an article, yeah, wow, man, you guys really need to try this. If you're writing content, try this. You'll see what I'm talking about. You'll consistently get great content. Consistently get great content every time. Okay, so let's move over to developer. We've done chat, we've done image, we've now basically shown off content writing, one of my favorites, by the way. Let's go over to developer here. So we're going to go advanced coder here. Okay, so I'm in advanced coder. You've got two modes. You've got advanced coder and you've got node builder. If you go to node, let's do to node builder first. So if you go to node builder, now I'm not much into node building, but I do know that there are people that like node building. Here you can actually choose the different agents, so you can build your own project with different agents. Now these are locked because you haven't selected the input and the output yet. So let's select an input. So we click input, it puts down an input, and it tells us we need to put an output as well. So we put an output. So now that we've got an input and an output, everything becomes unlocked. So now you can put anything here. You can put a writer agent here, and you can link the input to the writer agent. Just drag that little thing over there, and then you can link the writer to the output. For example, if we just want to make a quick demonstration here. So there we go. And each of these you can give a story. Each of these you can give a So there we go, write a story about a dog that loves playing in the garden, right? And there's our output. So now you can go run, and it will run, and you click run again. It runs a second one here, and then it's now writing that story. There we go. And then click run again. Oh, sorry, I should have selected that one. And now it will give the output as well. There we go. Look at that. So there's the output. This is just a small little sample demonstration, of course. You can also delete nodes. So you can click delete node. And you can add other nodes again, like a coder agent instead of a writer agent, and link that. You can add variables as well, by the way. So let's actually wipe this clear, everything clear. Yes, clear. Let's go back up here. So they go there, input, output. There we go. You can add variables as well. Damn it. Clear. There we go. There's variables. Sorry if you unselect them. You can add variables as well. I mean, there's a lot to do here. You've got input, output, and you've got this little failure thing. Like if on fail, do this. So I'm still expanding on this. There's a lot here still to do. But if you're into building nodes, I mean, you can really. There's so many. I don't know how many agents I've added here. I'm sort of adding them all eventually, but I think there might be about 40, maybe 30 or 40 agents available here. From all the big agents are here. You want to generate images, split text, extract data, transform data, conditional nodes, routing agents, function agents, writer, coders, input, output, project builders, workflow builders. I mean, summarizing agents, text expanders. It's all here. So, code refractors, mathematicians. There's even a directory lister over here, a list joiner, text splitter, data transformer, data extractor. I mean, there's so much here. Web scraper, API request. I mean, so yeah, if you're into node building, you can fill the screen here with nodes. And again, you can download zip and you can share. And so, people can work on this at the same time, collaborate. So that's development. In developer, we've got the builder mode. This is the node builder. And as I said, I am expanding on this. So I'm always up for suggestions, by the way. You can, open this little feedback thing here, and you can always put any suggestions in here and send to me. Okay, so that's node builder. Advanced coder, this is, sorry, switch back there. Advanced coder, this is another mode that I like. There's many languages in here. I mean, there's quite a lot. C++, C, all the major free basic HTML, Java's, Angular's in here, PHP, Python, React, Ruby, Rust, SQL. I mean, all the major ones are in TypeScript in there. So all the major languages are in here, and we'll probably expand on them as well. And how this operates is this is where the agents really, really shine. Content writing, they shine, but that's writer mode. Developers on a whole different level. Okay, let's type something in here. So I'm going to say a landing page for a company that sells milk. So I'm saying landing page for a company that sells milk, and I'm going to hit start. So we're doing a simple HTML page, landing page for a company that sells milk. As you can see, generated project that says Dairy Delight Landing, and it gives you a plan here, index page and a style page. Yes, it's a simple page, so it should be okay. And I click yes, approve. If I reject, it will then regenerate a new plan until I approve. I can also add files to the plan, so I can add descriptions, files, and so I can change this plan if I want to, or edit it. I can edit the exact the plan, and it tells you what it's going to do. The main page, this will contain structure content for milk company's landing page, CSS file for styling the landing page, including layout, colors, and fonts. So it tells you in the plan what it's going to do, right? So you approve this plan. And as you can see, it builds a little project map over here and says simple project detected, bypassing architect and generating plan directly. The user approval, blah, 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 core functionality, sorting, da, 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 generated code for the index HTML. So let's go to editor mode here. You can also drag these up and down as you wish. So it starts with project map where it shows you the files, and then you can switch to editor mode. Now in editor mode, you can actually see the code that's being written, right? Styles, stored, queued. This one's already being written, and you've got a little preview option here. So if I let's make these like really let's just go here to preview. You can see here preview. So there's a preview. This is the initial preview, and it will change. As you can see, it's changing literally minute because that was huge. Now it's tiny. It's changing like minute by minute, second by second. So this is the initial page that it's making, right? There's the index page code. It hasn't generated the styles yet. Okay, so it's generating the code here. And if we actually go look here at the agent logs, let's just put it back to project map there. Actually, we can leave it on editor. It says here generated code, da 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 da, generated code, running DevOps checks, attempt one. It says DevOps checks failed, index is missing a script, da 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 da. And then it says debugger analysis verification failure. Then it calls the debugger refactor process failed, attempting to regenerate number two. Yes, it regenerated, and then it says passed. So it passed the second time. So the first time it failed, then it rewrote it, obviously editing it, and then it passed the second time because it fixed that error there. And this is improving aesthetics improved, improving layout improved, and then it says performing quality check, fixes applied, performing security check issues found, blah, 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 blah. It says debugger analyzing, applying security fixes, applied security fixes, generating code. Now it's going on to the styles. It's doing the styles now. So it's applied security fixes, generating styles, dispatching the language plugin HTML agent, generating code for styles, running DevOps checks, attempt one, and then improving aesthetics, improving the layout, and so goes on and on and on. So it this is because it's classified as a simple project. It's not pulling in many of the agents. There's only what 4 or 5 agents being used here. There's the layout agent, the quality. No, there's more. There's more. Let's see here. So got the planner, the scaffolding agent, the generating agent, the coder, which is the generating agent. So that's 3. Then it's got the security agent. That's 4. It's got the quality agent. That's 5. It's got the debugger, which is 6. And then it's got the dispatcher, which is 7. It's got the HTML agent, which is 8. And then it's got, I think that's at 8. And then, of course, right at the end, it calls for the let's see. Oh, there's the project the quality review agent. So it does like a final inspection, and then it that generates the Docker files and so forth that goes with it. Everything always creates a Docker file, right? So you've got about 8 or 9 agents on this just little simple landing page, and then it gives you a final summary here. It says congratulations, success, da 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 da. 2 minutes and 57 seconds. Okay. 20 AI requests and 19 responses. Okay, so that's it. It's done. Let's go take a look at it. So let's go preview this page. As you can see there, fresh milk delivered to your door. Order now. It gives a little image of a cow, some buttons on top. About pure dairy. Look at that. Not only does it make the page, but it puts all the text in, all the headers, all the buttons, color codes, everything. Generates images. Look at that. Just look at that. Wow. At Pure Dairy, we're committed to providing highest quality milk to our customers. Da, 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 da. Other products, it says whole milk, reduced fat 1%, 2%. Contact us, blah, 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 send messages. So this is a landing page. Look at that. It even's got the little footer over here with some icons. This is obviously to your like your Discord or whatever. Wow. I'm very impressed with how nicely it did this and how quickly as well. How long would it take a person to code something like this? Anyway, these are obviously placeholders, but still, this is really nice. This is really, really nice. So this is coding. This is coding on Makulu Agent Portal. You see how easy it is to code things, right? Let's get rid of that preview, put it back to code. The bars drag better when the preview is not there. So let's put it back to project map. Now, we've also got the detailed log. So if you click over there, it's actually, I forgot to show it in content, but content has it as well. There's a detailed log. So you can go back and you can sort of get all the details and you can see which where it was, which model it was using. It was using pollinations and it was using Mistral and pollinations again, and then Mistral again and pollinations again, and blah, blah, blah. And so it went on, and it was using Mistral, 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 pollinations, Mistral, Mistral, Mistral. Yeah, so it goes on and on and on. And anyway, so you can see all the details, right? Now, this was a simple project. I didn't really make it very complex, but you can make complex stuff. It's very capable of doing very complex stuff. I'm going to reload this page. Let's just reload. Once you develop something, it actually, your whole portal becomes locked. You have to reload to reset. But you can make some complex stuff, man. You can do like C++ or Java or Python or whatever. And it is capable because it's got so many models. You can ask it to do some really, really complex stuff. Might take you a while, obviously, but you can ask some really complex stuff here. And if you do something complex, then wow, you're going to see so many more agents go to work, like, and the pages and pages of stuff that it writes. Okay, so I don't want to make this video too long and take forever. Oh, I do want to load something here. Let's go to coder. That's one we just coded now. So let's load it back. Let's reload that. You can also, I want to show you that just like with the content, see, I just loaded from history, by the way. So if you're working on something, you can, and you don't finish, you can always come back and finish it, or you can always come back and make changes later. I can ask it now, like here's a preview, it's green. I can ask it, change these colors, make them more blue, butter blue or something, whatever. I can ask it to make changes. It will go change the files. You can also download zip. If you click download zip, it downloads it straight to your downloads folder. There's no notification. You just go look, it's in your downloads folder. It's not a very big file. So, and you can also share it. If you click share, it actually syncs it to the server, just like with the other one. And then it gives you a little ID over there. So winter rain 16, that's your ID. Just give that to somebody else. They can import this project. They just go to history, go to load from server, put in the ID, load, boom. It imports a project directly into developer mode, opens for them, and then they can just make changes to it. So if you're working on a project, you want to collaborate with somebody, or you've made it for somebody or whatever, you want to send it to them so they can put the final touches on or whatever, you can do that. Just send them AI portal, or if they're on the same Linux or whatever, because we do also have a web version of this, they can just go there, load the project, and continue working on it. So, and multiple people can work on it, just like with the content. So this is really nice. We really, really remember this portal is this is the beginning stages. This is still considered like alpha, maybe beta. It's in the very early stages. It's very, very awesome, very capable, and I'll keep expanding on it. This is going to become so good over the coming months, in the next year or two. I mean, I'm just going to keep working on this, make it better and better and better. It's like the ultimate hub for Linux users, right on your desktop, right? So you're on your desktop and you have this portal. You don't even have to open a web page, nothing. You just load up the portal. You can chat to the AI, you can generate content, you can generate images, generate videos, you can code on projects, you can write your own code, load old projects, continue coding on those. So you can work on something. You're building an app, you can keep working on it. It's in your history. your local history. And if you want to make sure that that you save it, then you can sync it, share it, and sync it. That way, it syncs on the server side. Because if you don't sync it, it will always only stay in local history. It means something goes wrong with your drive, bye bye project. It only shares it locally. It stays safe only locally. Nobody has access to it. If you share it, it syncs it to the server. Still, nobody has access to it. The only way they have access to it is that code. But you could share it, save the code for yourself in case you lose your local history. You can always load it from the server, continue working on it, or collaborate with other people, work on it together without having to log and register on GitHub, and you can work in private. This is a really cool little tool. This, and any features you want, any bugs that you find, boom, just contact us either with a feedback here, or you can go into chat here, maybe have a chat with us, because the public chat is over there, so you can always contact us there as well. But the public chat, many people are on different time zones, and some people just sit in chat, never really talk. So I wouldn't count on a lot of help coming from chat, but yeah, sometimes. Okay, so that's it. We've got our chat mode, image mode, content mode, and developer mode, right? With Node Builder, Advanced Coder. Just close that there. Let's make this big, and you guys can go wild with this. Go wild with it. If you want to use your own AI, Google or OpenAI, just add your keys. And let me actually show how this works. I'm going to reload here quickly, and then I'm going to go into settings here. I'm going to put in my OpenAI key over there. Now it asks me which model do I want to use. GPT-5, Mini, or Nano. Mini, I think is okay, right? No, 5. Let's go 5. Let's go Mini. It's faster, I think. So Mini is the sort of in between. I like the Mini model, right? If you enter Google model, it will let you choose the Gemini models that are available. So we're going to go with GPT-5 Mini because I added OpenAI. This is my own OpenAI key. So I save it, and now I can actually, if I chat here, let's just take DeepSeek and I go hello. You'll see now that it says OpenAI GPT-5 Mini. So it's using my OpenAI. See there? I'm actually now using the OpenAI model to do whatever I want. I want to generate content. I go here and I choose like an article, and I say here, bumblebees are awesome. So the bumblebees are awesome, and it will now generate using GPT there, GPT-5 Mini, OpenAI. It's generating using the GPT model from my key, which means I'm paying per tokens now, but it's using my model, my key, obviously my API key. So if you wish to add your own API key because you want to use your own preferred models, you can. As you can see here now, it will now create all those agents, but use your own key. So it's using that model. GPT-5. It's using GPT-5 right now to do this. If we go to editor here, it's waiting. It's queued to generate the content of bees. Bumblebees are awesome. So we're going to see what actually generates here, just for interest's sake. And if you go back to settings here, you can also enter the Google key. As you can see, that key saved. If I want to unsave it, I just remove it and click save again. But here we go. Now, another thing to note, let's say that I'm using my own API key and I got let's say I've got $50 on that key, right? And so I'm using it and then I run out. What happens when you run out? Well, if you run out and it can't connect to your API, it will default to the free models. So even if you're in the middle of generating content, it will default fall back to the free models. Now, why would you use your own key when there are free models and so many free models? Look at this. It actually, wow, GPT-5 does a good job. I can see it as well. Look how nicely it's laid it out. 2,347 characters. Now it's humanizing. It's looking for faults and um, making it more humanized. So it's humanizing it. Boom, 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 boom. Anyway, so why would you use your own API key if there are free models? Well, once we release this, these free models are going to be very busy, man, very, very busy. Lots of people are going to be on here. So this might slow down quite a lot. So you might have some latency on a lot of these models because you might get certain times of the day that a lot of people are on. That could be it. Also, because we're using free models are rate limited, and they have less of a memory buffer. They don't have the kind. Look, there it's finished. It finished on 2,152 words. And if we go send this project to Canvas, there we go. just look at that. And now we can say summarize the story in Canvas. So now it will actually generate a Canvas agent using, see, they're still using the same model. I've got a key, so it uses my model, and it will actually summarize this. Look at this. So I'm still using the GPT-5. It's using my key. It'll only switch to my key if I remove switch to the free models if I remove it, or if it runs out of tokens, like if I run out of money. There we go. It gives a summary. It's quite nice. So, and look at this. I can copy it, unload it. Okay, so as I was saying, the free models are nice, but they don't have the kind of memory buffer that the OpenAI and Google has. Google has what, 2 million token count, I think, at some with some models, 1 million with most. OpenAI, I think for the most part, it's somewhere between 128K and 1 million. Some of the free models do have larger, 128K, maybe 256K, but some of them only have 32K, some have 8K, some have 4K. I mean, there's a huge difference between the memory buffer, the context input length that you can use for chat history and things with the paid models versus the free models. So you will consistently get better results with the paid models. That's just a given. If you, as you see, they are saved now it's gone. I removed my key. I removed it and then I click save, so it's gone now. So if I go back here to chat, let's just reload this. If I go back here to chat and I say hello, you'll see it will now go back to the free pollinations again, goes back to the free models. Okay, so that's how the keys work. You will consistently always get better results with the paid models. It's just how it is because you're paying for it. So it will be better. But the free models are not bad. I'm telling you, they are very decent. They are very decent, and they might make a little bit more mistakes because of, like, especially with large, complex projects, you might get to a point where, like, it's so much content that it might mess up here and there with memory, or maybe make a few more mistakes than the paid models do. But it's kind of the price that you pay for using free models. Still, it's not bad, and with a free one, you do have all of these models at your disposal. That's quite a lot. So we've achieved a lot with very little, because we don't charge for this. This is free. People can go crazy. So yeah, um, hooray to us for being able to bring this to you free of charge. So yeah, if you want support the project, man, we need it. We really need it. In fact, I'm going to start looking at, because it's becoming very costly for us to run all this AI. Like, my budget is in the red. Like, I'm constantly out of money. So I think what I'm going to do moving forward is I'm actually going to set up a thing where I'm going to put down make a list of our budget. So I'm going to actually work out our budget, project it over like a course of a year, and I'm going to look at it. I'm going to say, okay, our budget's X amount. This is how much our budget is for the year, and then maybe see if the community can contribute towards that, help with some of these costs, and then we'll just keep things free. People can sort of donate, because I see some of the other guys doing it. I see Linux Mint and those guys doing it. They put there like, okay, we need X amount for the year, and then people contribute and fill up that bar. And once they hit that target, then great. Now the project's paid for the year, everything's paid for the year. It's a load off their shoulders, and they can just develop without the pressure. So I think I'm going to do the same with Makulu. I think it's time. Like, I think it's time that we start working on proper budgets and get some, order and structure. So you'll probably see that, and I might pop it up even in the portal as at some stage as well. So if you do see it, it's not spam, it's not adverts, it's just us trying to make sure that all of this stays free. Thanks for watching, guys. We have patched this through now to everybody. Let's see, yeah, we've patched this through to everybody. So have fun with it. You can chat to the AI. You can generate images, content developer, um, to coding over there. Now, how do you open this portal? Well, I forgot to mention that part, right? If you actually go here, we're replacing this little robot. So if you click on this little robot here in the bottom corner, here in your bottom panel, this will open up the agent. And of course, it'll be in your menu under AI tools as well. And we'll keep developing, we'll keep expanding on this, maybe add some more features as well. There's a designer thing that I'm also working on, but I don't want to speak about that too much. But you can collaborate with other people with a share option, so enjoy that. Have fun with it, guys. Again, this is a lot of work. 45 agents, actually, I think it's 53, but 45 agents and 35 AI models, and it's still expanding. And the great thing is it's different models from all over. Look at this. It's not even one model. It's different models and of the best that there are. So have fun with it. It's very capable. It's such an awesome little portal, and it has so much potential. So have fun with it, and I hope you like this patch, and spread the word, man. We need more people using Makulu, and especially upgrading to Pro. Our budget is I can't even begin to tell you guys in how severely in the red we are with our budget. Like I'm already starting to get nightmares of having to make cuts to certain things, and so I really need to start focusing on crowdfunding. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoy this. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.
Working late in the light of our Makulu screen, customizing themes that are oh so clean. A system stable with a heart of open source. Makulu's whispers guide me, no need to force. LibreOffice scribing through, no end, no cap. With every app I need, it's a creative sap. Yes, app. In the glow, in the flow, Makulu's insight show. AI core, open door, guiding as I go. The comfort of the code so bright in the screen's soft light. Makulu harmony in tech's endless flight. Smooth like the river, Makulu runs deep. Updates that deliver, promises to keep. Boot it up, feel the pulse, Makulu's beat so serene. With every line of code, it's like living the dream. AI's mind like the stars guides us through the night. Makulu's here, and everything just feels so right. In the grip of Makulu we find our pace, sailing through cyberspace with elegance and grace.